Yeah, let's add my sketches that I have for the rest of the pages. I'll right-click on my folder and choose Add Existing Items. Then I find the sketches that I have on my computer and just open them. And if I put my cursor on top, I can see a little thumbnail view of the sketch. And I can easily get the sketch onto my artboard just by dragging and dropping. So I open my home page. I can drag out my home sketch. And then I can do the same for the design page. Let's see. Design page and the order page. So just by doing this, I have a better, I have organized my hand-drawn sketches, and I've also been able to show the relationship between each stage by having the sketch flow map at the bottom. Let's say I also want to add a status bar with home and back and forward buttons. I can easily do that with the sketch of rectangles. Also, those things are in here as well. Just quickly draw one out. Give it a grayish color. And then add buttons. Home button. And I can duplicate it by holding down the Alt key and pull one out. Pull another one out. Change this text to back. And this text to forward. Let's say I want these 3 buttons and this bar to be on each and every screen. I don't have to do copy and paste. I can just select the ones that I want to be reused. Oops. So I'm clicking and holding down the Control key to select them all. Then I right-click on it and then choose Make into Component Screen. A component screen, I'll call it Menu. The component screen will show up in the sketch flow map as a green thingy. And if you look closely, you'll see that there's a dashed line from the menu screen to the order screen, which is an indicator that everything that's in the menu component screen is also in the order screen, which is true. Because everything that's here is just a bar and the buttons, and they're also there. If I want the menu here as well, I can just drag it and drop it, and it'll show up there. And this makes it easier for me to maybe edit the menu if I want to change the color from the gray to red. Just changing it here will be reflected everywhere as well. So that's a way of making reusable part by making them into a component screen. Okay, now I have that done. The cool thing about Sketchflow is that you can build the project and then put it on your website. I can press F5 and you'll see how it will look like. And it is this way that the customers or your partner is supposed to view the prototype in. And it will be open up in the web browser, and all the person needs is to have Silverlight installed, and they will see your prototype. So they don't need to have the actual program or anything like that. They will see the prototype. So this is the view that the customer is supposed to see your prototype in. I have the home screen here. I can click the map view to get an overlay of the different screens. I can click on the different screens to navigate to them. I can also see here in my navigate panel which screens are connected to the current screen I'm in. But the most interesting part of here is the feedback panel down here. It's here that all the feedback surrounding your prototype is supposed to be handled, which makes it easier for you to act on feedback. So let's pretend now that I'm the customer and I've gotten Downway's first prototype of the website. As you can see, the buttons are clickable. Nothing happens when I click on them. So as a customer, I'm a bit confused. Alright, how come the buttons don't work? And I see that this is a prototype since everything is hand-drawn and stuff, so I don't comment on pixel perfect things, which is probably something Downway isn't interested in anyway in this stage. And that's something that Sketchflow is supposed to help you with, so you don't get those kind of feedback. Although I'm interested in knowing what these areas are supposed to do, I expect them to take me to other pages. So add another comment. Areas should be interactive and take me to other pages. Not only can I write comments, I can also choose a different tool, like an ink tool, and choose a color and draw on the prototype, just to make it extra obvious to download what I'm commenting on. And then I'll go to the next page. This is fine. Oh, wait. I can show you, oops, that this is perfectly typable. And this is a password box, so text will show like that. This is also a functioning button. On the design page, I'm curious to see how it will work. I think when I click on the different colors in the panel, the t-shirt color should change. So type that, colors. Colors should change on the t-shirt. So now do this. And do it. And on the order screen, I'm curious how it will look like when I place an order. How does it look like when placing an order? And now I'm done. When I'm done commenting, I can choose the folder, the icon, and choose export feedback. I'll get to enter my name, so it's not anonymous feedback. I can enter my initials and click OK. And I get to save my comments somewhere. And I can then email this file to Dunway. Save it on my desktop, write feedback. And let's say now I'm Dunway again, and I know that my customer has seen this sketch, and I've commented on it, and I've gotten the feedback sent to my email. And now I can go to my Sketchflow feedback panel down there and click the plus sign to add the file that Dunway sent to me, which is this. As soon as I added the file, I can close it, and I'll see not only the comments Dunway made, but also the doodles that she did on the prototype. I'll see here that on the home screen, Dunway commented on the buttons and the interactivity. If I take a closer look at the Sketchflow map, I can also notice that on some of these screens there are light bulbs, and they are indication on that there's feedback given on those screens. So I don't have to go and look on each screen to see if there's feedback. It will be a visual indicator on the screen. Oh, now I got a feedback on the line because I made a dot. Anyway, I would like to act on these things to fix them. I'll show you how you can easily add interaction. So let's click on the eye to hide the ink so I don't get distracted by Dunway's artwork. You can start by adding interactivity to the buttons. Now in Sketchflow and in Blend, there's something called behaviors. You can also find that in the assets panel along with the components. Behaviors are something interactivity that you can drag and drop the components that will add the function to it without you having to code it. For example, to the home button, I would like to add a navigate to screen action behavior. When I click it, I would like to navigate somewhere. So I can just drag this and place it on the button. Now I think it was going to place on the rectangle. Oh yeah, the button is in the component screen, so I have to go to the components, of course, in order to pull this and place it on the button. There's something called Objects and Timeline panel down here, and it's like a Photoshop. You see everything that's all the objects that's on the screen, but it's in reversed order, so the stuff that in the bottom is actually on top of the stuff that is before visually on the screen. You can change that if you want to by switching the Z order here. If you like this, it will be like Photoshop. The stuff that's on top is on top. If you want it in a programmatical order, the stuff that's at the bottom here is actually on top on the artboard. This might be a lot of things, but if you get the developer tools from Robert and you can play around and I can walk around, I think you will get a hang of it. I just want to show you quickly how you can use it first. So I can see on my button that there's something connected to it. There's indented and there's a navigate to screen action behavior that I dropped onto it. So I can click it, and depending on what I click, I get here in my properties window updated information and things that I can change about it. So this navigate to screen action behavior will trigger when somebody click on it. I could make it trigger on something else, like mouse enter. As soon as somebody put the mouse on top of the button, it could trigger. But I want it to trigger when somebody click on the button. And then I can choose which screen I want it to navigate to. So I'll choose the home screen. And it's simple as that. Now I added the ability for this prototype to navigate to the home screen as soon as someone clicks the home button. Now if I want to add the navigation to the back and forward, there are some intelligence that I can add. Like I can pull in the navigate back action behavior and just drag and drop it there. And I can drag and drop the navigate forward action behavior to the forward button. There's another way of adding these behaviors by just right-clicking a button and then choose navigate to, and then choosing either screen or back and forward. Now choose back. Same thing on the forward button. I right-click the forward button, choose navigate to forward. And just by that, I'm adding the intelligence to these two buttons to navigate back and forward. Right, so the other comment that we had was to add interactivity to the home screen on the actual sketch. So if we take a look at it, I can't really add those navigate to behaviors to the sketch just by drag and dropping, since these things are a part of the big sketch. But since it's just a prototype, I can sort of do it in an ad hoc way or something. I'll show you a way that I usually do. It's by creating transparent rectangles. So I choose the rectangles tool here, and I'll just draw a rectangle that will cover the clickable area. Then I'll choose in the properties panel for the rectangle and set the opacity to 0, so it'll be transparent. It'll be see-through. Then I'll right-click the see-through rectangle and put a navigate to action behavior on that, and choose when someone clicks on that area, they should navigate to login. And I'll do the same for design and order. Like I said, this is just a way to create prototype. You probably don't want to do this for your real program, like creating see-through rectangles, but for a prototype, just to show the interaction and stuff like that is completely fine. Well, you could do this for an actual program, but maybe it won't be optimized for performance. Like that. Right-click this and choose that you should navigate to everything. So if we press F5 again, we'll see this new prototype in action, and we'll see that it actually worked.